Kilob ni nga 20 banwa, may masabalyaking kultura at lain Kapampangan in Holy Angel University Center for Kapampangan Studies o HAU-CKS. May silbiyang sandalan ning impormasyon at pamanigaral para kiliking Kapampangan. Dating pigpagalan ng HAU-CKS, ilang gagamitan tamong referensya king pamaggambol king kikatamong kultura. Maragol ng pagpasalamat ng CLTV36 ing making katambal ning center kareng programang Kapampangan, kalupan ning Maskinano, Aro Jericho at ating kaming K. Kapamilatan ng CKS, abawagamong emu king Pampanga nuneking mabilugayato, nung makanano ya kakule, kasanting at kalabog, ing kulturang Kapampangan, HAU-CKS, tunay kang ating K. Ako po'y Jody Dizon Mercado, kambening mabiluga kapanibalan ng CLTV, king kayong ka-20 banwang anibersaryo, adwan mi, nalakwas siyang misaplala, in Holy Angel University Center for Kapampangan Studies. Pasibayo, masaya ang pong makabaldugang anibersaryo kaya kayo.
King kilublan nga 20 banwang karelang pamangusal, dakal no po agawa tungkol king Kapampangan, lalo na king kultura, king yayaliwang bagay, basta pakatungkol king Kapampangan, king kay katamong aman siswa ni Repepa Friend, ginawalang libro, ginawalang dakal, albums, tungkol nga kay Kapampangan. Happy 20th anniversary. Karingaya galaga ng manungkulan at manimuna king Center for Kapampangan Studies.
Kigmip mong tula at saya, malugod ko pong babye ing kanakong masapno, manono at mayumong puge king ka-20 banwang anibersaryo ng Center for Kapampangan Studies ng Holy Angel University keti Ciudad Angeles. Ing Center for Kapampangan Studies metong yapong kalam apig kalob ning ginong mayupaya kay katamong sablang Kapampangan sa salamina ning mabilog a Kapampangan ketang napon, ketang ngeni, at kingaldo paing tungol pa. Nawa, migit ne pa pong lambungan ning mayupayang Gino. Ketang kayang malagong insenso ing Center for Kapampangan Studies. Nawa laluya po pong minwan at misingkad king panahon pang makaba. Luwid ya pong maluwid yung Center for Kapampangan Studies. Kaya kayo man po maya pa oras at dakal asalamat.
Happy 20th anniversary Center for Kapampangan Studies. Congratulations po kay Rayman. At sana dakala pa rin aso pa yung talents at artist kalupa ko. At pasalamat ko kung maragol. Ketang dininan nyo kong maya pa oras para maging co-author katang pinablish yung librong Mi Pamansagan Serenata. Again po, Center for Kapampangan Studies, luwid kayo at congratulations po ulit.
Ting makapanahunang pangabait at pangatatag ng Kapampangan Center, lalam ng pamangasiwa at pamagtimon Professor Robin Tantingo, miyuman lang sinipag at mesigla diwa ding netamad ng poeta bansunguran at may balanggas rimat bersong pasibayo. Uling ing nasa at buyot ning CKS ing sagipanya at biyayan ing marulumpawi tamong indong siswan ing marulungod at malagda tamong kultura at literatura. Kaya uling na niti ing malalanat ng diwa ding lawi watas at daladalit, sinagiwaya, linamong at ninyampagang pasibayo. Sa giwa pa kining kaisipan, ing petsang Mayo 4, 2004 at kaladisan akong sabiento ing malukayong talasuyo ing menagumpe at menigwa ing mungunang galal. Pasalamat ko king Diyos amiglalang at kadwa king CKS king bendisyon kalamat sauda ngarapin kung Venus nun mas vertigo ko king kasaupan at ang tabi ng Kapampangan Center maging poeta laureado ko maging best actor ko king pelikulang Ari at maging 2018 Mocha awardigo king kategoryang kultura. Nano ba ta? Arasan ko in tumatong ning malyak at agumpe. Kung dyan kong utang alog, ing sablang iti king CKS, king Center for Kapampangan Studies. At bilang wata sa talagari, parang naman dakong dita at makuyat arribat verso. Kapampangan Center, naning Holy Angel, lilingap gagambol, king kultura ning balen. Bila diwang kayanakan, kaya alam pakanten, ing manong siswan, bareng lubos session, ing advokasinat, mayak ng parasan, king pangatatag na may sabing pandayan, matuwat kayanakan, kaya lang agigan, misang metong sagip, king manong siswan, kambening kultur arte ning badayan, manemat at lumbog, lubos makalingwan. Karen king CKS, piho yung apansin, libro at pamasan, relikyat magasin, laureadong watas, king ornong salamin, litrato dat laurel, karin siping-siping, ding pantas ning balen, bayani ng supling, biera makalimbag, misulat, king sing-sing. Banlanong bisalba, ing literatura, kagum na ning arte, ampon ning kultura. Banding kaya nakan, mimulat lamata, gampigang paning center, gawang pelikula, ari ang titulo, poeta yang bida, linugod king siswan, angga king meteya.
Maya pabengi po kaya kayungan, balamo kapilampaan yang megumpisa yung Center for Kapampangan Studies. I wish I could tell you all the stories and share with you all the memories. To all of you who supported the Center for Kapampangan Studies, to all of you who wished us well, dakala salamat po. And to all of you who want us to do more, sige po, we will try harder and do better next time. And to those who have been a part of CKS, whether as members of the staff, as student assistants and tour guides, as consultants and friends of the Center for Kapampangan Studies, thank you. And I hope it has been a wonderful, magical, and unforgettable experience for you, as it has been for me as your director. As the founding director of the Center for Kapampangan Studies, I never would have done all of this without you. And the center would not have achieved what it has achieved without your support and without your presence and participation in everything that we did. When the center opened 20 years ago, it had only been 10 years after Mount Pinatubo erupted, and it had only been 5 years since the last lahars flowed through the river channels of Pampanga. Holy Angel University put up the center because there was real danger that the eruption of the volcano that had destroyed and buried our land would also destroy and bury our cultural heritage. Our Kapampangan language, our Amanong Siswan, had been struggling, of course, long before the eruption. mainly due to the negligence, migration, our proximity to Manila, and the overprivileging of our so-called national language at the expense of regional languages. But Pinatubo made us acutely aware that the threat extended beyond our language, but also to our historical landmarks, our heritage structures, our traditions and folk festivals, our old documents and manuscripts. In other words, our language wasn't the only aspect of our cultural heritage that needed saving. There were many other tangible and intangible things that would have been lost forever if we did not act fast enough. Yes, the Center for Kapampangan Studies has inspired many similar study centers in other regions of the archipelago. But the center had also been inspired by other centers and organizations that were much older than us and doing the same advocacy work much earlier than we did. To all of them, dakal pasalamat po kayo. Like Holy Angel University, the Center for Kapampangan Studies is a private entity performing a public service. Like Holy Angel University, the Kapampangan Center was founded on March 8th. If Holy Angel was founded by Don Juan Nepomuceno, the Kapampangan Center was named after Don Juan Nepomuceno, who, by the way, was also a Kapampangan poet and translator and an advocate of the Kapampangan culture. CKS was founded during the presidency of the inspirational and visionary Bernadette Nepomuceno. She was our champion, our defender, our cheerleader, our boss, and our #1 fan. Because of Bernie Nepomuceno, the Center for Kapampangan Studies became a source of joy, of magic, and of miracles too many to count. Our succeeding presidents also gave us their wholehearted support, and I thank them also. Dr. Arlene Villanueva, Engineer Jerry Nepomuceno, the late Dr. Luis Calingo, and our present president, Mr. Leo Valdez. I still can't believe that the center has achieved what it has achieved in the last 20 years. From the beautiful museums, to the impressive library collections, to the early publications like Sing Sing Magazine, the Alaya Research Journal, and the Indung Ibatan newsletter, to the music CDs, the radio programs, the TV shows, and of course, our award-winning books and our award-winning movies, and all the silent work that we did all these years. In the last 2 years of the pandemic, we closed the center to the public, but we continued work on many publications, including the book that we are launching today. We also did some renovations at the museum, and last week, when the COVID alert level was lowered, we got together and returned to the center like excited visitors. Many of us have moved on, and many of us have gone to better places. But for one brief shining moment, we were back to those happy times again. May you also find time to visit the Center for Kapampangan Studies and reconnect with your cultural roots. Dakala salamat and happy anniversary to all of us.
In 2001, Holy Angel University held the first international conference on Kapampangan studies. It brought together historians, scholars, researchers, and cultural workers from all over the world who presented papers on various aspects of Kapampangan studies, from history to archaeology, linguistics and literature, arts and culture. The following year, On March 8, 2002, the university celebrated its Founders Day by opening the Center for Kapampangan Studies, named after the university founder, Juan D. Nepomuceno. Thus, Holy Angel formally launched its advocacy to study, preserve, and promote Kapampangan history and heritage, which was nearly obliterated due to the eruption of Mount Pinatubo and the succeeding lahars in the previous decade. The center had a museum, a gallery, a library, a theater, a research and publication unit, so that it becomes a one-stop shop for visitors, students, and researchers. The library, which was eventually named after John Larkin, would have print, digital, and microfilm copies of all possible materials on Kapampangan, by Kapampangans, and about Kapampangans. The research unit started publishing a research journal called Alaya, an English language magazine called Sing Sing, and a Kapampangan language literary magazine called Indung Ibatan. The museum would expand to include a Pinatubo Museum and the Museum of Kapampangan Arts. The center was run by staff pulled out from various offices in the university, with no academic preparation for the job, no previous experience and no training, and all they had was their common love and curiosity for their local history and culture. We depended on consultants and experts who came and went, but we diligently spent those first few months crisscrossing the countryside, interviewing the common folk, attending cultural festivals, documenting local poets and their performances, and local artisans and their work. Former HAU President Bernadette Nepomuceno recognized the magic that produced and sustained the center, and she threw her full support. Within a short period of time, the center achieved unprecedented success and prestige, making it one of the country's most admired regional study centers. Visitors from everywhere came by the busloads to see its attractions and to benchmark for their own study centers. We ourselves could not believe what people said about the center. The Center for Kapampangan Studies, said Javier Nepomuceno, the university founder's eldest son, put Holy Angel on the world map. Jesuit historian Father John Schumacher called the center the most active and productive regional cultural center in the Philippines. The National Commission for Culture and the Arts and National Historical Commission of the Philippines, Chairman Ambeth Ocampo, said, "Your center is the standard way by which all study centers in the Philippines are measured." Church historian Dr. Luciano Santiago said, "The Center for Kapampangan Studies is now the most distinguished and vigorous of all the local study centers sprouting in the archipelago." Who would have thought that this motley group of employees of Holy Angel, who started with nothing, could produce an output that was celebrated by so many people from all sectors of society? We maintained a standard of excellence for all our services and products because we want the center to be a showcase of the Kapampangan people's reputation for artistry, perfectionism, and pride, which is sometimes mistaken for Kapampangan conceit. For example, after only a few issues, our Sing Sing magazine became, according to Professor Randy David, the best journal published in this country. Ambassador Carlos J. Valdez called Sing Sing magazine a product of scholarly research. Historian Bernardita Churchill described it as excellent. Mariel Francisco called it brilliant. Our books have consistently been finalists and winners of the annual National Book Awards given by the Manila Critics Circle and the National Book Development Board. To date, we have won 8 National Book Awards. Gloria, Translation Category. A Confradia of Two, Biography Category. Arte y Reglas, Translation Category. Pinatubo, The Volcano in Our Backyard, Science Category. Kawatasan, Kapampangan Poetry Category. Gale at Gosu, Kapampangan Non-Fiction Prose Category. Milpigs and Violet Gold, Cuisine Category. Kapampangan Roots Volume 1, Linguistics Category. Our translation of Berganio's Vocabulario en la Lengua Kapampangan won an extraordinary citation, while several other books were finalists. Kapampangan Pioneers in the Philippine Church, History Category. Abe, Biography Category. 10. Fiction Category. Aro Katimyasda, Leisure Category. Felipe Songsong, History Category. We also help local writers and historians with the publication of their books, such as Albina Pexon Fernandez 10 and 11, Renato Alzadon's Kasapunggol Asampaga, Mike Pangilinan's Kulitan, Danielle Dizen's Amidst Unsung Heroes, Joel Regala's In the Blood, Katok Stayag's reprint of Recollections and Digressions, Ian Alfonso's The Nameless Hero, Claude Tayag's A Watercolor Journey. The center also experimented with various mass media to reach a wider audience. It had a weekly talk show on radio and a weekly cultural program on cable TV promoting the Kapampangan language. It produced 3 music CDs, the Kapampangan Christmas Album, Rock Kapampangan, and Kapampangan Ku, the first music CD of Artista Santa Rita. It put a Kapampangan dictionary on mobile app for free downloading. It created a Kapampangan cartoon using 3D animation technology and published illustrated Kapampangan comic books for classroom use. Its animated short film won first prize in the professional division of the annual national competition for Filipino animators. It produced Jason Paul Laksamana's first film, Anak ning Capri, and co-produced Brillante Mendoza's early film, Manoro, which won at the Cine Manila International Film Festival. In 2015, the center threw all the university resources into making its very own full-feature Kapampangan film, Ari, My Life with a King, using administrators, faculty, students, alumni, and even its own carpenters and janitors to write, direct, design, and photograph the film about a Kapampangan poet mentoring a reluctant student. It won national and international awards and recognition in 3 different continents, including Best World Film in New York, Best New Director in India and London, Best Screenplay in Los Angeles, Bronze Medal in Houston, and nominations and accolades in France, Iraq, Bangladesh, Vancouver, Chicago, and Fukuoka in Japan. It won Best Picture, Best Screenplay, and Best Actor at the Metro Manila Film Festival New Wave section, Best Screenplay and Best Music at the Gawad Urian, and Best Story at the FAMAS, Best First Feature at the Young Critics Circle, and was voted one of the best Filipino films of the 21st century. The center's follow-up movie, Arya, was an advocacy film about the unsung Hukbalahap guerrillas of World War II. The Metro Manila Film Festival rejected it but had a change of heart and sponsored its premiere and theater screening in all the malls in Pampanga, the first and only time the MMFF did it for a rejected film. It also won the Best Film at an international film festival in India and Best Picture and several awards at the Gawad Pasado and nominations at the Gawad Urian and an international film festival in France. 20 years after it was founded, the center continues to tell the story of the Kapampangan people, not only to the young generations of Kapampangans, but also to non-Kapampangans throughout the world who have come to know and admire these extraordinary people, their unique role in history, their resilience in the face of calamity and adversity, the beauty of their language, their land, their people, and their culture. We joined other study centers throughout the archipelago in promoting the role of local histories, regional cultures, and indigenous languages in the nation's journey to unity and progress. On its 20th anniversary, the Center for Kapampangan Studies once again makes its call to all Kapampangans: become a better Filipino by being a good Kapampangan.
Greetings to all. I can't believe that it has been 20 years since we started the Center for Kapampangan Studies. It was an idea that came from several sectors, and different people had ideas around the same time. And so when we were ready to launch it, there were so many people that were there to lend hand. I remember our first conference was in the old social hall, and it was brimming with people when our fear was it was a first time for us that we would have a hard time filling it up. But it wasn't just filled up with people, but it was filled up by people who were very enthusiastic and was just so hungry to come together and talk about Kapampangan. Brother Andrew, I remember, was one of those who came with so much energy and enthusiasm and was one of our speakers. It was a big boost for us to really launch the Kapampangan Center. The CKS is a gift that kept on giving. It has earned its place in the field of culture, history, and arts, and even archaeology at a certain point. Nanganganak na lang siya ng nanganganak, and it has been so prolific. The old stage that held much history was also transformed into a John Larkin's library, a theater, a workroom, and particularly a showroom that displayed all sorts that are authentic Kapampangan. Thank you, Arnel de Luna, who was our architect then, that made that place physically beautiful. It really captured the spirit of what we had wanted the center to be. Thank you for creating that house for us. I will be remiss if I do not pay tribute to Rabbi Tantingko for being the vision bearer of the center, birthing it and shepherding it to the depth and width of its reach, influence, and great contribution to academic and popular knowledge of Kapampangan that came from his passion and genius and his generous heart. His lifeblood is in the DNA of the center. He could not have done all of that accomplishments without the dedicated staff and talented people who lent themselves to create the rich treasure in the center. Of course, my favorite is Mai. I can't enumerate all, but you know who you are. You left a part of yourself in the center, and it has made CKS the jewel that it is now. There is no doubt in my mind that CKS will continue to grow and accomplish so much more. I can't thank God that I was given the privilege to contribute to this great endeavor. The universe constellated for this dream to come true. Laos Deo Semper. Mabuhay tayo.
Congratulations to the Center for Kapampangan Studies.
CKS has been an experiment that initially chronicled the university and its founders. Then it emerged as a champion of the Kapampangan culture. From books and artifacts and collections, CKS ventured into film and became a national model for preserving and celebrating regional culture. I have been a fan of all CKS publications. I lugged a heavy copy of Destiny and Destination back to Canada. When the film Ari was released, I watched it at the Vancouver Film Festival. You can tell who the Kapampangans were in the theater. They were the first to laugh at the jokes. I never realized how much I missed listening to and speaking Kapampangan until I saw the film.
This has been a monument to the capabilities of the Kapampangans. This is such a wonderful addition to Holy Angel University, and I really do hope that we will have and continue to have this in the next 20 years or so. Congratulations again, and I wish you many productive years to come and many award-winning films and books and anything that's great about the Kapampangan culture. Congratulations.
Ating kubong singsing metong yang timpukan amane kuiti kang indo kong ibatan isang kangking sinino ing metong kaban melaya puitiyeku malaya kang sukal ning lubko susukdol king banwa bikurus kung gama baboning lamesa ay ninumang manaki king sing kong mana kalulong puso ko manginuyat po kaya
Happy Anniversary CKS! So, masaya ako na magiging part na ng CKS kasi dakal ko akayabeng talagang amazing people na kalinguan itampot ang ating event. Lalo na kung in location na kanyang Holy Angel, kami mag-organize event. Kasi ang giyang maka-Amerikana ka, masanti ka susulod, barot saya, syempre Filipiniana mumwat karugong lamesa, bangko, tripod, camera, alalagu-lagu, ay ka dapat metese po katawan kasi mga joplaks ka. Itong mga ito, ring tao king CKS, mga galing la, aliwala standard, pwedeng mula-mulala, pwedeng kay ka rin, bala mo, may tuktok ka mubingan. Dahil ka rin may biyasa kong metas ko standard bagyaking obro because of that. And I owe it to the leadership of certain team ko.
Muna, nga CKS po, nga sinaba nga kilala kong lalo. Kilala kong lalo, ka akong sarili, nung makanano kong akit. Then kagiwan na malyari ko palang arake, asawab ka rin, kalupa kong mahilig, maki-interest kayong pamanigal Kapampangan. Yung makagulis, yung makasulat, makadake, belon, karin tao nga reti, kayong maranglenan ng pamanigal, kayong amano, kultura, kapanugalyan, may lang klase kapanyaliksikan o kapanyalugsugan Kapampangan. Uling kaya ni CKS, maging magugta kami o creative, maging mapagpanenaya kami, mapagpasensya, mapanubaya. Bakit? Uling kaya po CKS talagang kakabod na susulat, kakabod na gugulis, kakabod na leletrato kailangan biyasa ka naman na pukpok, talang martilyo, kailangan i-fix niya naman yung itantar po ling kaya metong alugan, kukumpas ka na po kayang gulo na ng metong programa. Yung masanting, yung makalidad uri na ning klase na ning pamanyuyok yung kaya katamong pamanigal Kapampangan. Imagine with all the learnings, experiences, and the love we have at CKS, making ko pong sabi naman din nga videographer, bukod kang Sir Leo, making ko nga layout artist, bukod kang Sir Ian, making illustrator ko, bukod pa po kay Sir Alex, making writer ko, bukod pa po kay Sir Robbie, speaker, bukod kay Ma'am Linda, making public intellectual ko pong kalupa rin kay maranglena po ni Panigalo Kapampangan.
Kamusta kayo man po ng Kapampangan Center, AFPK, Megographic Kapampangan Center between early 2000 hanggang maybe first part of 2005. Anyang makukuwat na ako kalungkot talaga uling kaluguran ko rin nga kaya be ako kay Kapampangan Center. I think itang talagang buri kong i-single out niya ni karenggang experiences ko kaya nitang nga kaya be ako. Yung mga sipag, talented, dedicated team members of the Kapampangan Center, mag-upsana kang Sir Robbie, pati Ma'am Cruz, Anton, Sheila, Arwin, Ann, Joel, and ilang kayagnan ko kanta rin. Ako rin yung regular guest me na talaga part of the family. Alex, pati JC pala, Miyaran Kanita, Cory Ivan, and nang karakalitang mga bayat na obra kay Kapampangan Center, pero mo pansin uling balo mo gana-gana kaya kayo mag-obra, and we just had so much fun. So itang work and play ito atsuya ka rin kay Kapampangan Center. So ako personally netong yakarempe kamasanting ang meging obra ko itang type ko kay Kapampangan akong dahil nga kaya ako hanggang singkunduling ako pagpalit. I guess yung metong pamburi kong kay makatulang share ko memories kaya kayo itang Yarwin nakakulit ni Yarwin, pero potang manik na bisikla ate kay magpolbo na ka, so yung rin nasabihan kanta ating kaming bisita, so I have to get ready.
Minuna ko pong mikiabe kaning institusyon ay ni kayari na ning International Conference of Kapampangan Studies na meganap king Holy Angel inyang 2001. So I said to myself na in kakong retirement job, yung target ko is to join the Center for Kapampangan Studies na tatatagda kanita. Inyang ma-acquire lareng Manansala artworks. So we said, what will we do with all these drawings from a national artist? So sabi, gawang museum. So I was tasked to do that. And binyere in atlong classroom of Pisoglong-Soglong, and the task was to convert that into a museum. So at that time I was very lucky because I had the resources of my advertising agency. At itaping metong kong art director, Ivan, designed the Manansala exhibit logo and the overall look of the Manansala exhibit. Talagang labor of love. And when it was open, patok na patok, because yung I remember the launch, it was full of VIPs, the art people of the famous national artists were there. There were so many VIPs that attended. Well, one other significant memory I have was when I was asked to present a paper, katang plotting points, parang it's a convention of or a conference of museum curators, museum operators from different parts of the country. It was held in UST, so I was privileged to present a paper to talk about the CKS experience, because apparently marakal ng museum people mintaking Holy Angel, and they were impressed by what we have been doing. So inyang inistorya ke ing experience ni Kenny CKS na we were just a handful of people when we started. Ivan, Dr. Lino, this Kapampangan speaking Frenchman, JC Gayard, si Ching Linda, the secretaries, the Kaylingad, Arwin, talagang they were so inspired. They were so amazed at our output, everything from the books to most especially the films. They were surprised na, how did you pull it off? How did you get your budget? How did the film is wonderful? The only film that won a FAMAS, that was school produced. So talagang yung feeling ko kanita after my presentation, CKS was the rock star of all the museums, because I had invitations to help train and begin museums in small towns.
So yung linob ko CKS, yung tutunay niyan, ako talaga biyasang mag-layout. Ako biyasang mga Pampangan. Sinabi ng Sir Rabi ka ako, magobra ka Kapampangan Center, tatagalog ka. So, karin ko mag-start na manigaral mga Pampangan. Grabe, unforgettable memories na kay itang pa mag-layout kami ng Dakala Books. Kanyang anniversary, 10th year anniversary ng CKS, mag-layout kami ng 10 books. So, ita, ayari mineman. Apong patse, mumunta kami karing schools, king traveling exhibits. Patse, magkay kaming book launching. Events king CKS. Yung first project ko is ako kalingwan ng Rock Kapampangan. Pa-concert kami at recording letang pulo sa Kapampangan, gawa mi lang rock. Tapa mag-layout ming Sir Rabi. Diyang holiday, diyang Pasko, diyang New Year, ikaming miyabe, mag-layout kami mo. Yung tutunan yan, Sir Rabi talaga yung layout artist CKS. Taga-pindot ko mo at saka taga-move mouse. O ito, dakal ko abalo king CKS. Mag-start yung pa mag-OJT dareng taga Holy king CKS. So talagang agamit mila retang talents dareng anak. So dakal laasaw from animation, itang the unusual pet na minyambot king animahinasyon. Kaya ba mila rin kaya kaming OJTs, yung kaya kaming working students na mga galing. Yung pa mag-work ko king CKS, ako afil na mag-work ko. Kasi, patse lulub ko, bala mo, tsuko mo bali. Itang kaya ba ako, bala mo, pamilya ko lang. feel at home ko, mga ganyan. Sir Robbie, bala mo yung kaya kaming tatang. Ma'am Cruz, yung bala mong inda, mga ganyan. Ma'am May, bala mo yung atsi. So ito. At saka, yung pekamasaya itang patse, may pagwentula about history, mga ganyan, about culture. Tang makiramdam ka mo karela dakal ka balo.
We were preparing for the opening of the Center for Kapampangan Studies. So, I asked Mr. Robbie, nanong gawan tamo, metong yam, malati yam, probinsya ng Pampanga, what are we going to research? So, he was smiling. After that, we started our work. The building was put up at the main building where we used to graduate every year. The center part of the main building was where we received our diplomas in high school and college. So we had a small library, we had a second floor and a third floor where we had the small conference hall and for lectures in Kapampangan. Working after a month at the center, I talked with Mr. Tantingko because I was set for a surgery which was, I think that was July, and I told him I have to go under the knife and I will be on leave for about a month. I had cancer. So it was devastating because I was just starting my work at the center. But after that, I returned to the center. I was just too happy and we prepared on putting up a Sarsuela. My first big project there was Ing Managpe by Kapampangan writer Pabalan. So we put up and it was very successful. We were prepared to show it in May because that was the Heritage Month. So we required all the students to watch it. When you start to work there, you really have to work. But we were happy because we went to the remote barrios, we videotaped the rituals, the customs and traditions of all the old Kapampangans in the province. I realized makanyan pala ing mag-slave bisera kung ingawis ng Arwin kaya kami kanita bala mo itik kami and he would ask us to go anywhere, interview old people, old writers, old poets and ask them about what they remember in their past. We wrote about what we found out in the barrio sides, riverbank towns, and we published them. And then after that, we distributed them to different schools in Manila and even to the barangays of Pampanga. I realized that although there was no additional compensation for the work I did at the center, no problem. We enjoyed the work, we met a lot of people. There were even a lot of the good writers of UP and Ateneo, national artists, and other well-known individuals in Metro Manila who were all praises for Sir. So my 12-year stay at the Center for Kapampangan Studies was really very fruitful.
Maya pa Aldo po kaya kayo ngan. Iya ako po ay JC Gaya, metong ko pong ahorangi o Professor of Geography, king way papataw mataraw o the University of Auckland, ketiking Aotearoa o Nueva Zelanda. Meto ko pong Francis King Daya, o ning neni ati ko pong tatala na pasaporte ketiking Aotearoa. Meto ko po karing Mekiabe, king munang kumperansya tungkol king Kapampangan, anyong 2001, king Holy Angel University. At kaibat po, meto ko po karing kayabe king pamagbuo king Center for Kapampangan Studies, anyong 2002. Ingka kong gana tungkol king pamag-aral king Kapampangan, manibat ya po king kakong PhD, anyang dekada 90. Tungkol ya po king bulkang Pinatubo, ing kayang pamagbong, at ding implikasyon para karing alialiwang komunidad king indung Kapampangan. Ganita po anyong dekada 90, 2001, 2002, 2003, exciting niya pong manigaral tungkol kay Kapampangan. Nakalta pong kailangan baluan kanta, tungkol king kultura, tungkol king kasaysayan, tungkol king geografya, tungkol king amanung siswan, tungkol ka ring takku o kalamidad, king karong punto de vista. Kaya kanita mataral kay pong gay working center at nung lawan tayo in sitwasyon nini aduang dekada kay bat na ning foundation na ning center, malawot siya po talaga may paras ing center at malawot siya po may paras ing pamagaral tungkol Kapampangan. Antimo linuwalya po ing pamagaral at pamanyulat king kulitan. Takala po may publish a libro tungkol king Kapampangan, may salin laring aliwong bokabularyo daring Espanyol, tingali aliwong gramatika daring Espanyol, daral tapong bayo nga balo tungkol king kasaysayan. Kaya kailangan tayong pasalamatan in Center for Kapampangan Studies, in kayang contribution king progreso ay ito. Nini po, nung lawan tayo in kaburasan, dakalta pa po kailangan tuklasan tungkol king Kapampangan.
Greetings from the National Historical Commission of the Philippines. I am one with the 1D Nepomuceno Center for Kapampangan Studies of Holy Angel University in the celebration of a milestone. Its score or 20 years of anniversary as the premier propeller of Kapampangan Studies, especially in the areas of history, heritage, and culture. My felicitation is multifold. I am a witness to its breaking ground, blossoming, and bearing fruits. Prior to its establishment, I was stopped by my good friend and co-seminarian, Director Robbie P. Tantinco, in the preliminary activities to augur its establishment. That is, to provide a seminal lecture or forum on Kapampangan studies and to launch the first ever publication of Holy Angel University and the Center for Kapampangan Studies, an epistle of a prior prisoner in 2001. Since then, the CKS has been instrumental in numerous publications, fora, exhibits, and myriad of activities, all in the name of Kapampangan Studies. And I am happy that I am still a witness and a companion in its continuous growth and development, all in the name of Kapampangan Studies.
King ka-20 anibersaryo na ning Juan D. Nepomuceno Center for Kapampangan Studies ning Holy Angel University, ipayabot ming maya pa oras at kaya kaming makanyan-kanyan namon tula king di santamo inga 20 banwa. King kilub na po ni 20 banwa nga ita, akayabe ko na po rin king Center for Kapampangan Studies, king kilub na ning 18 banwa. Huling miyanib ko po king center yung 2004. Ko po kalingwaning kaya kaming pamiutos, pamiyabe, kiniking center, huling amibing pa niya sasabihan, ing dapat making center ay obra. Noon ini manikwa kaming kuswelo kayong katawan, at masayaming gagawan, masayaming gagampanan. Radyo yaman yan, okasyon yaman pang istorya, okasyon yaman pang Santa Iglesia, o nanumang dapat king kultura, magkuswelo kami po. At agawamin na natayong malyaring gawan, pero paninapis sa sabihin ng kaya director, nung wari king kukudkuran, akudkud miya pa mo, itang kayang babo, dakal pa pong malyaring panigubran, pahintunan, at malyaring saliksikan. King maligwasabi, Halos sagawa mi nangan mekan, poesya, pulosa, pagbirthday mi na rin poeta, metong ken, pati na rin mete, pakilaman mi, pagbirthday mi la, anibersaryo, antimorgui ka Luis, ikuha mi ang kilkulan king Loyola, at lipat mi ang pasibay, bayang miuli, kaya king Pampanga. King malagwasabi, dakal kaya po kagampanan, dapat dakal pa ing sukat ang daptan para ing kultura, amano at kasalaysayang Kapampangan.
I love you, CKS, and God bless always.
Metong pong matikik, kagalamano, metong pong pugi. Kaya katamongan po.
Congratulations. I hope you have fun celebrating your 20th anniversary.
So deng pong sinaup kay kami, deng migtangkilik, deng megobra for CKS for the past 20 years. Dakala salamat po. Luwid Kayungan, Luwid Yaing Center for Kapampangan Studies, Luwid Yaing Pampanga.
Takal ko po abalo kaya kayo at sana hanggang tumuha ko at siya pa yung CKS.
Thank you, Holy Angel. Thank you, Kapampangan Center. The work is the reward.
Kaya malambat siya pa po sana yung BA na ning Center for Kapampangan Studies, malambat siya pa po yung BA na ning pamag-aral tungkol Kapampangan, at Luidia po in Kapampangan.
Pupugi ako po.
Pasibayo po, masayang ka-20 anibersaryo ng Center for Kapampangan Studies.
I just want to join you, Holy Angel University, as you celebrate the 20th anniversary of the Center for Kapampangan Studies. You know, now I can proudly call myself an alumnus after you granted me a doctorate honoris causa. If there is an institution within Holy Angel University that has consistently borne the trademark of Holy Angel University, it is the Center for Kapampangan Studies and its many publications about the Kapampangan culture. Nya, maya pa oras kay Kayungan, dear Center for Kapampangan Studies, especially Mr. Robbie Tantinco, for your immense contribution to the preservation of Pampanga's cultural heritage, our history, our cuisine, our literature, our faith and religiosity. This is Bishop Ambo David, Bishop of the Diocese of Caloocan and President of the Catholic Bishops' Conference of the Philippines, Maya Paoras, Center for Kapampangan Studies of Holy Angel University.
I'm very happy to give you greetings, especially on this very important occasion, and this is the 20th anniversary of the Center for Kapampangan Studies. This means 20 years of productive, professional, and enlightened growth of the center. I am honored that I was part of this 20 years when I was invited to give lectures on the Kapampangan language, Kapampangan culture, and Kapampangan linguistics. I am grateful to the center through the Holy Angel University management because my dissertation was published by the university. And this is a dissertation that I finished as part of my doctoral studies at the University of the Philippines. The title of my dissertation is Kapampangan Lexicography. There are features, there are things that we can consider to sustain the growth of an endangered language. And it is important to look at the institutions that support the study of that language. I must say, the Center for Kapampangan Studies has a very bright outlook, very good perspective on innovations on Kapampangan. For example, we have the development of heterogeneous languages. And this is true not only in the Philippines, but languages in the whole world. And I can see the same phenomenon happening for Kapampangan, wherein Kapampangan speakers will be exposed and they will use a combination of Kapampangan, Tagalog, and English in their speech. Matula ko po at kayabe ko kayong celebration na in 20 years of the Center for Kapampangan Studies. Agaga nakako pa. Anyang pupunta ko pa regularly king HAU. Matula ko, akit ko no naman Myra, Irabi, Ilinda, ang podeng support staff na lagi lang pong very courteous, very enjoyable to be with. I was always with good company and there was always a lot of good food. So my dear Center for Kapampangan Studies, nakalasalamat kay invitation and again, congratulations.
Maya pa oras po, ako po i-Direct Jason Paul Laksamana at buri kaya pong atuan ing HAU CKS ang maligayang kadwampulong anibersaryo ning karelang pangatatag. Kilob ning adwang dekada, migsilbi ang santungan ning kabyasnan ning CKS para karing Kapampangan na kayanakan, akalupa ko abisang kumonekta king pamanang kultura daring kaya katamong pipumpunan. Takalyarin proyekto ing CKS ame kayang baging igit kong pangayama king kakong Kapampangan. Antimoreng Singsing Magazine, Alaya Research Journal, kay ba't ding niyayalawang libro ay ilang miglimbag, kalupa na ring libro ng Albina Pexon Fernandez, kay ba't atsula mo naman ding pelikula ng kalupa ning Manoro ng Direk Brillante Mendoza, may kayang baglangan din king pasibayo kung pangaburi king kanakong Kapampangan. Kay ba't metong lamo rin ka rin meniwala ka na ako bilang direktor, anyang magumpisa ko pa mong gagawang Kapampangan short film kasi inadwangan da akong financial suporta kanita, ang buskela ko palagyo. At CKS mo rin ang migsilbing ka-partner making Sine Kabalen Kapampangan Film Festival, ang migsilbing launching pad daring dakala Kapampangan film workers at filmmakers amagobra kay kasalungsungan. Ngayon ikadwang pulong anibersaryo ng CKS, nasa akong dakalya pa agawain ni kintutuking dekada, at kapara ning gewa na kako, makapagtanam niya pang inspirasyon ka rin kaya na Kapampangan, abagya-abagya ng milalaot, king karelang penibatan.
May paoras po karing Kabalen at kaluguran tamo king Holy Angel University, king Angeles City, manibat king Philippine Consulate General king New York, malugod kong makiagom kay kapag masusya na ning ikadwang pulong banwang anibersaryo na ning pangatatag ning Center for Kapampangan Studies. Maragulya pasalamat ing lalawigan tamo kay kayo, lalo na keng layon yung ibalik ing lugod na rin Kabalen tamo, keng kegis ng tamong kultura, pamana, at amanong Kapampangan. Pag maragulam yang dadangalan ing agawayo at kagawan nyo pa, para isalbayang pasibayo ing labwad Kapampangan. Uli na niti marakal na ko kayan tabe, king pamagsulong na ning kultura tamo. Yaning masampataldo, mipuriya at mirangaling Center for Kapampangan Studies, lalo na deng mamuntok, deng manibala, at deng manatiling tatangkilik keng center. Kapamilatan na rin kaya biyamika ni Philippine Consulate General, king New York, ako po ay Consul General Elmer G. Cato, amamuge kaya kalingan king CKS, Luidia, impekamalan tamong Pampanga.
Ako po'y Atty. Ed Pamintuan, dating mayor na ng Ciudad Angeles at kasalukuyan pong chairman na po ng Clark Development Corporation, itong Clark Freeport Zone. Payabot ko yung may paoras ng Center for Kapampangan Studies na teguyod din ka na kong alma mater in Holy Angel University. Nung rin niya, makabali in sentro. Lubos-lubusan ng kapasalamatan ko, kambeda ding lulugod keng sining Kapampangan. Kaya kaungan at ding bibilog keng organisasyon. Congratulations and happy 20th anniversary. Luwid kayo, luwidya, ing sining Kapampangan.
Kasamangari, 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 kita kasamangari, nagluto yang sindang, ibalik sumaya, sinulakin sini, semua yang despada. Kasama bintari, upang lalaban ko. Ikaw kasama, nilutoy ang pindang, ibalik mo kuya, sinubyakin sini, sinumayang espada, sabay kang pindang, o maglalaban ka. Kasamangari, ikaw bakulot, nilutoy ang malot, eleman mo pitput, sa kanilinulang, kinetong amang ko, inya ang kandutan Gulping may palpa, tukpok pok 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 pabok pok 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 pabok pok 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 bababa kasamangari ikaw parumahan sa tiyanila inyong masindiya balag-balag yalo inyong masindiya balag-balag 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 balag yalo kasamangari
Did you know that it was Kapampangans who founded the Communist Party of the Philippines, the Partido Socialista ng Pilipinas, the Hukbalahap, the New People's Army, the Kilusang Mayo Uno, and the Kabataang Makabayan? Did you also know that the first Filipino priest, first Filipino nun, first Filipino Jesuit, and first Filipino cardinals are, you guessed it right, Kapampangan. Luwid ng Kapampangan. Did you know, alam mo ba, balo mo ba, that Bentot, Apeng Daldal, Pugak, Chiquito, the Comedy King, the original Drama King, and the new Drama King, the original King of the Philippine movies, and the succeeding King of Philippine movies, the megastar, the star for all seasons, the original Darna, and the pop star princess. Alam mo ba, balo mo ba, that they are all, you guessed that right, Kapampangan. And did you know that the person who wrote the first English novel in the Philippines, and the person who wrote the longest work in literature, and the person who compiled the first encyclopedia in the country, ito pa, and the person who wrote the first play in a local language, do you know that they are all, that's right, Kapampangan. Nuha, the best yan talaga. The best yan tagana. Den Kapampangan.
Did you know that the most famous socialite in Spain is a Kapampangan, which makes two superstar sons, Enrique Iglesias and Julio Iglesias Jr., also have Kapampangan? Did you know that it was the Kapampangan who won the first Emmy Award, the first Tony Award, the first Cannes Best Actor Award, the first Filipinos to gain international fame in boxing, in billiards, and in piano are all Kapampangan. And I am also proud to be a Kapampangan, just like them.
Maya Lupo Kekongan, and on behalf of the editors of the Kapampangan Biographical Dictionary, Kapampangan ko, I would like to welcome everyone and thank you for joining us in this book launch. This book project is almost as old as the center itself. It was conceptualized because we've seen a lot of Kapampangans, ordinary Kapampangans, who do extraordinary things. And we wanted to compile their stories. So it's not just about
politicians or famous people. It's about everyday people who've contributed to the community. So we're not just talking about our elected leaders, we're also talking about our poets, our playwrights, our artists, our community leaders, our scientists. And here we are, we're such a great people, and it's an amazing feat, just to look at everyone's contribution to society. So we hope that by compiling these stories, we inspire other Kapampangans to do the same. And as you all know, this is the first edition, and I know that we missed a lot of people. So please, if we missed someone, don't get upset, kasi we will still have more editions to come. We will update this, we will include more people in the future editions. So we hope that this book will continue to inspire all of us to do extraordinary things even in our own little ways. So I remember that this was something that we conceptualized many years ago, but because of the sheer volume of information that we've been receiving, it was so difficult just to say that the book was already ready for publication. So finally, after many years, here we are, and we are ready to introduce our Kapampangan achievers to the country and to the world. So again, on behalf of the editors, we would like to thank the Center for Kapampangan Studies for really working hard to get this book out. I know everyone has been very patient. Robbie, Tantinko, thank you very much for really seeing this through. And of course, we'd like to thank so many people, our friends at the center. Alex Castro, you've helped a lot. Mama Erlinda Cruz, thank you very much. And all the other staff, the center, who really contributed to make this book possible. So again, takal pong salamat.
Bintang leing panahon, di kamustamungan. Bintang leing panahon, gising na Kapampangan, nakatatangis, pakamalan kong kapatid, nung nanumang kasakitan, lubud mo. Makamal ing kapakibatan, sinlag neing aldo, alanang dalumdum, ing suluning puso, lilinis king dusak sukal, kilubog balen. Tikdo naka, lundag nakakulisak ka, itamungan, agnanagnan. Kapampangan ko, daya ampon kaladwa ko, sesena kuning ginu, biyabe tamu. Kapampangan ko, daya ampong kaladwa ko, sesena kuning ginu, biyabe tamu. balen, tikto na ka, lundag na ka, ulisa ka, hagna